We are at our appointed hour, so I don't want to waste any of our great time that we have here with Rosemary. I'll continue to let other folks in the room as they join. So welcome everyone. My name is Lisa Gear. I'm the Dean of Admissions at Southwestern. And it's my job to make sure that all of you have all of the things that you need in your little toolbox to make sure you feel prepared to apply to law school, hopefully at Southwestern, to make sure that you have a really great sense of the kind of community of students we have, which then in turn produces our community of lawyers that make up our alumni base. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rosemary Tamayo. She is a 3L, meaning a third year student we were talking on her way to graduation. She's almost completing the full circle. And she's a full-time day student. So Rosemary, I'll go ahead and let you take it from here.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I know it's a really difficult time for everyone. So just the fact that you're here shows how committed you are, to pursuing higher education. So that's great. My name is Rosemary Tamayo. I'm a 3L at Southwestern Law School, traditional day student. A little bit about myself, I'll explain my journey to being where I am right now. I'm from Colombia, the country. I lived there for about 4 years before my mom decided that wasn't really the best place for her and I to have a life. So we moved back to Miami. I was born in Miami, but I moved when I was like a week old. So technically I'm from Colombia, but yeah, I moved back home to Miami, lived in a house with 12 people, cousins, aunts, uncles, in Little Havana, Miami. I shared a room with a lot of cousins, bunk beds, and it was fun. I mean, I'm an only child, but yeah. So I realized then that this is not how I want to have my family live, how I want to continue, to have my future. And I, made it very clear to myself that I was going to go to college. I wanted to be someone in life. So I worked really hard. I applied to colleges and I didn't get in because really I didn't know how to apply. I didn't know how to take the SAT. I didn't know all of that. I had really no one to guide me. But I got into Santa Monica College, right, which is a 2-year community college here in California. And they have the #1 highest transfers to UCLA, which was like my dream school growing up. I always saw like LA, like I want to live in LA and that's the land of dreams. So I applied to SMC. I worked really hard and long story short, I got into UCLA. I was actually the first person in my family to graduate high school. I was the first person in my family to graduate college. And when I was at UCLA, I was like, well, what do I want to do? What am I good at? What can I continue learning? I got accepted to this program. It's called the Ucla Law Fellows, and it's a fellowship for people that are interested in going to law school. And through there, I really discovered my passion for the law. And I applied to law schools. I got into Southwestern Law School. I was just so excited for Southwestern to give me the opportunity. My LSAT score wasn't the highest, but I had a really good GPA from UCLA. I graduated cum laude. And I was just really excited that a school had given me an opportunity. And I had heard amazing things about Southwestern. And I didn't really reach out to alums or, I didn't really know how to talk to people, how to find out more about it. But I knew that the research that I had done was enough for me to say, this was the school for me. They gave me an opportunity and I want to take full advantage of it. 3 years later, I'm about to graduate. And going to Southwestern has been the best decision I have made really in my life, aside from going to UCLA, because it's UCLA. And yeah, so I'm here now. I'm almost gonna take the bar. I'm the next cycle, which is crazy to think about, but yeah, that's my story.
Thank you, Rosemary. Can you share with them a little bit about some of the experiential learning you've had, externships or clinics, any of those types of things, as well as honors program information?
Sure. So I came to Southwestern. I was really interested in entertainment law. Um, I I did like musical theater classes when I was younger and like all that. And so I really wanted to combine like both of my passions of, getting a higher education, being a lawyer, and something that I really loved to do, which was, entertainment and all that. So I came to Southwestern, one of the best schools for entertainment with that. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do things that will help me have a career in this. From the first year, I was really interested in the negotiation honors program. We're actually national champions. Like we literally are national champions, like #1 out of the whole entire United States. We're going to like international competition in Minnesota, which is like the weirdest place to have an international competition. But yeah. Um, so I, got involved with, we actually have like a 3-track program in laws, which is gonna be like one of your first year classes. And I was like, I want to be in negotiations, right? Because there you learn like the basics of negotiating and all that. So I got into that, and then I tried out for the negotiation honors program. I got in. I made it all the way to the finals and got 4th place. So in terms of honors programs, that's the program that I'm in. And it has been a great experience because now that I'm actually, working and through my externships, I have really seen these skills that we learn in school, come about in real life. Aside from that, I have worked at NBC Universal. I was there for a fall semester, and then they, are really happy with my work. So I just finished off the whole entire year, and I actually just finished in May. Um, and right now I'm working at Better Up. It's a commercial technology company that, caters coaching services to Fortune 500 companies. And I signed an NDA, so I can't really say like that much about it. But, it's a great experience because not only have I gotten experience for entertainment, but I'm also now, learning applicable skills of like commercial law, technology, IP that has to do with all of this experience that I've had before. And, Southwestern has been a really great resource for me to get these skills because they have taught me how to network. They've taught me how to look for jobs. They've taught me how to really go for it, and it's the work that you also put into. It's not like Southwestern is like, here, these are the steps, these are what you have to do. It's really up to you to make sure you're taking full advantage of reaching out opportunities.
So speaking of the networking, I think, Rosemary, in all of our conversations throughout your years at Southwestern, one of the things that's always really struck me is how good you are at pushing yourself to network and to take advantage of those things. But we know, or you've probably seen even amongst your classmates, that some people are really shy about it or they feel a little uncomfortable. What are some tips that you have that you give yourself to kind of give you that extra little push at those times when you probably also feel a little bit shy or a little bit uncomfortable? But I know you're pushing. I know because I see you doing it. So what are some of the things that you could give some advice on about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think right now, especially if you are shy or you are kind of nervous to reach out to people, right now it's really the best time to network because we're literally, we really can't meet up. All we really have is the computer on Zoom, and some stress, alleviates from that. It's the fact that you don't have to go and meet someone and they've never met and you don't really know like how to talk to them. So that has really helped. But, one thing I will say is that your grades in law school are very important. But without the other skills, which is networking and meeting people, I'm not really sure, how many people you're going to meet like that, and I'm very honest and I'll say, there are a couple of people that I know, from other schools that have amazing grades. They go to the best schools, Harvard Law, UCLA, Berkeley, but they have no experience. And that's because they really only really rely on their grades, or they rely on their school, or they don't like to meet people, right? And so my first year of law school, it was really hard for me because I didn't get the best grades. This was the first time I was ever, exposed to any studying so hard. It's going to take up, all of your life, really. But I was like, I know that I can use the other skills that I have, which are talking to people, putting myself out there. And I really used my story, being a Latina, being first generation, coming from really nothing, my background. That's how I found my mentor. I'm very, very, very active on LinkedIn. Like every day I'm on LinkedIn. Half of my screen is on LinkedIn, half of my screen is on my work. And I post multiple times a week. And my mentor, his name is Dino Barajas. He's the co-chair of DLA Piper, a huge law firm. He read my story. I posted my story on LinkedIn. He's like, hey, I want to help you out in your legal career. How, like, I would have never met him if I never posted anything on LinkedIn. And now we text. He's helping me connect with partners from, these big law firms. Every single week, I make it a habit to connect with people on LinkedIn, message people on LinkedIn. And this is literally my life motto. Like, I literally live by this every single day. There's only 3 responses that people can give you: yes, no, and they don't answer. So what do you have to lose? Nothing. You have nothing to lose, because one of those 3 things will happen. And what's the worst that can happen is that they don't answer, they say no, and then you're like, okay, next. I didn't want you anyway. So.
Any questions? Elizabeth, do you have a question so far from Rosemary? I think I just saw your hand go up.
Yeah, so I also am very interested in entertainment media law, kind of similar path in terms of, done a lot of theater and musical theater, and I'm kind of trying to combine those 2 interests. I was wondering if you've participated in the entertainment clinic or what has been like one of your highlight experiences besides like the externships of like the actual either coursework or experiences at Southwestern directly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually forgot to mention, but I am in the entertainment clinic. And I was there last semester, and now I'm back as like a mentor to the new clinicians. And honestly, it has been, besides negotiation honors program, it has been the best thing I have ever done at Southwestern, because you are literally working with like real clients, or not pretend clients. You're on the phone with them. Well, you can't give legal advice because we're students, but the professors are there, but you're the one, speaking to the clients, and the professors jump in if anything needs to be answered. You're drafting all the documents, all the email correspondences. And so one thing that I really learned by doing that is my confidence really went up, because imagine me talking to like a production company, like a huge production company, and we have been doing that, this semester. And then me in like an internship and not knowing how to, talk to them, and being super shy, not knowing how to read an email or anything. And then I've learned how to, talk to clients, how to build that confidence. So that way, when I'm out in the real world, with my internship right now, I feel so much better. And these are skills that have been really helpful to me. They don't really baby you around, they kind of throw you out there, and they trust that you that you know what you're doing, because in the clinic it's really hard to get into. A lot of people apply, only 3 got in last semester. I was one of them. So it's really competitive, but if you get in, you're being trusted that you can take on the task.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
That's great. Amir, your question?
Yeah, Rosemary, I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. And I just want to say you have a phenomenal story, and I really have love and admiration for what you did. And you loved LA, you went to SMC, you knew that was the right you did. So kudos and all the applause to you. I just had a question in regards to your negotiation program. If you could kind of just dive a little deeper onto what exactly is it, and sort of like a mediation clinic, and just what the experience was on. Because from what you've gathered, it seems that Southwestern is a school where it's learn by doing. So I'd be very interested to see how they applied that in the negotiation program. And again, is it sort of like a mediation program, or if you could just expand on that?
So we do have a yearly competition where it's mediation and arbitration, but our program solely focuses on negotiation. I do know that Southwestern has a class for mediation, they do, yeah. And they have a lot more, courses that offer just specifically that. I remember last year, I didn't specifically go to this competition, but if you're part of the negotiation honors program, you're required to, spar, which is practice against the people that are going. And it was a mediation, and we've never done it before, but, we had alums come in that do mediation now. We had a professional mediation come in, and, he guided us, he helped us. And so while we don't really cater to that, we have learned the basic skills for if we ever need to do that or want to do that in the future. We already know kind of what the basics entail. But in terms of the negotiation program, I know a lot of people apply, about only 12 to 13 get in. It depends on the year. Actually, they just competed last week and they made it all the way to the finals. One thing about our negotiation honors program is that we always make it to the finals, which is an amazing, because people from all over the country go to these competitions, and the fact that we always make it to the finals and people know who we are and they're like, oh, Southwestern's there, that's so cool. But it doesn't matter if you're competing or not. We always practice. I actually just got my schedule today for the ABA negotiation competition. I'm not competing in it, but I'm going 3 or 4 times against the people that are competing in it. So it's very active, very supportive, and it really gets you on your feet, which, it was really crazy because last week at my job, I sat down on a negotiation and it was exactly the same thing as we do in our competition. And I was like, this is insane, like an introduction, and they they're justifying themselves. And I was like, okay, this is really like this is not it's pretend, but it's not really pretend, because just like the clinic, once I'm going to be negotiating against another, executive at a studio, or, negotiating a commercial contract for a vendor or licenses for coaching, what I'm doing right now, I know exactly how it will go down. My confidence is there. And, I have built the necessary skills in order to show what I can do. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, next up would be Patricia.
Hello, how you doing? I go by Miss Pat because I'm 63 years old and I'm old fashioned. And so when people are younger than me, at least when I grew up, they put a handle on the name. So that's why I say Miss Pat. Anyways, it's been interesting listening to you. I have 3 quick questions. My first one is, you said you went through the UCLA Fellows program. I'm in the process of getting everything together, and I'll be sending my paperwork off on Thursday. Can you give me some tips on what you did? I know you were a student, so that probably helped, that they brought you in, but just some tips that you could give me as I am putting the finishing touches on my application and all of that.
Well, this was back in 2016 or 15, so I don't really remember exactly, but not only with this application, but with every application that you do, no matter if it's the UCLA Law Fellows program or an externship, or any application you do, you always have to show why they need you, right? Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm really gonna learn, and I really want this job because I want to be a lawyer. No, I deserve to be there because I have, the ambition, I have the necessary skills. So always show why you are the right person, for that job, why they want you, why you have something that they need, right? And this goes not only for this application, but for even Southwestern, right? Applying to Southwestern.
Yes.
Why does Southwestern need you? Why do they need Elizabeth, Amir, Hugo, Deline? Like, why do they need you? What will you bring to Southwestern that will contribute to the school or to the program? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, that's very helpful. Are you on any law review? No,
I'm currently not on law. Well, no, I'm not on law review. I did make Law Journal just for personal reasons and just for strategic reasons of mine. I didn't accept the offer, but I definitely recommend it. It's an amazing thing to have on your resume, and it's really, really great. So I personally didn't choose to pursue that route, but I 100% support it and encourage you to do that.
Okay, and then my last question, did you just take the LSAT once?
I took it, yes, I took it once, and I took a gap year actually, and I applied to Southwestern late, and to my law schools late. So one piece of advice that I have is apply early, apply early, because, you know, that will just give you more space and, you know, the opportunity to get scholarships and, you know, just some breathing room. So yeah.
Thank you, Rosemary. Okay, next up, question will be from Terry.
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you, Rosemary, for talking to us this evening. And congratulations on all your success. I wish you continued success. My question is, as a first generation college student and law student, were there any programs at Southwestern, or were there any programs that you found helpful with your transition into law school and to kind of help you with that journey, being that, you know, you were the first in your family to do a lot of this?
So Southwestern has so many resources that you can use. You know, it doesn't matter if you're first generation or your family has been, you know, lawyers for 100 years. You know, really all these resources are available to everyone equally. It's really up to you to take advantage of them. I used the career services a lot. I still use them a lot, at least once a month when I'm adding things to my resume. I email my counselor, hey, does this look good? And I feel like I'm being annoying, but I'm sorry. Like, we also have really great student associations. You know, I'm part of the Latino Law Student Society, and that has been a great resource for me. That's how I found, you know, out about all my scholarships that I have been lucky enough to receive. There's just so many ways and resources that you can use. And also Southwestern has also a lot of students that are like me, that are first generation. And so just by bonding and talking to your peers, you really do get that sense of like, you're not the only one, right? Because I have always felt like I've been kind of alone in this process, but really coming to Southwestern, I have felt, I feel really great knowing that a lot of people are in my same position, and you know, we're doing great. So
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Daleen.
Okay, hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Daleen. So I have one question for you, Rosemary. You said you were at NBC Universal and also Better Up. So how did they find you, or how did you find them at Southwestern?
Yeah. So my first year of summer, like I said, I came into Southwestern knowing that I wanted to do entertainment and or corporate. But it's really hard, right? As a first year law student, you're basically competing against second year law students who already have experience. You're competing against third year, you know, evening students who have more time to get more experience. So I unfortunately did not get a entertainment externship my first summer, but two things happened to me. My first one was that I got accepted into the Microsoft Intellectual Property Institute in Washington, D.C. It's a program that the Hispanic National Bar Association offers. And they really only select about 30 students throughout the whole entire United States, and I was one of them, and I was really excited. So I already had kind of had like that one little thing right on my resume. And second was like, okay, I didn't get anything, but I'm gonna work for the Superior Court of LA with a judge. I was very honest with my judge, and I was like, and I got a criminal judge, which is like for me, like I spend like all my time just crying, to be honest with you. Like, it was really sad for me. I don't know. But I was really honest with my judge, and I was like, I really want to do entertainment, and, you know, I'm going to use this as a experience because you want to be a well-rounded student and you want to have some litigation. And I really learned a lot by just observing, you know, and writing motions and all that. But throughout that time, sorry, this is kind of a long story, but I promise it will pay off. There's a lot of lessons in it. Throughout that time, I applied to the Mexican American Bar Association scholarship. in that scholarship, they cater specific scholarships to the areas of law that you're interested in. So I made it very clear that I was interested in entertainment. And I actually won that scholarship, and I won the NBC Universal Telemundo scholarship. But when you receive a scholarship, okay, they give you money and they give you a plaque, and then, you know, they say, okay, congratulations, here you go. And I was like, that's not all I'm getting from this. I literally got a scholarship from like NBC, like I need to take full advantage of it. So throughout my summer, I really only scheduled for 3 units, which is like 16 hours a week. And I made that choice very specifically because of what I'm about to say. So I emailed everyone at Universal, like through LinkedIn, like everyone. And I was like, hey, I just won this scholarship. Oh my gosh, you know, I would love to meet you. I know you work there. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. And every single week I had a meeting with someone at NBC Universal on the lot, which was really cool because it was my first time ever going to the lot, right? One of those people really, really believed in me. And she said, you know what, show me your resume. I'm going to show you I'm going to show my boss your resume. Through that, I got an interview in the NBC Legal Affairs Department. And, you know, the rest is history. I was there for a year. But my point is that I could have received a scholarship and then nothing would have happened, right? But I made it a point to reach out to every single person that worked there. And then one person gave me a chance. And, you know, I got a job. With Better Up, it was a little different. So I made it a point to work every single semester since my start of my 2L year. I just learned so much by, you know, these practical experiences and by actually, you know, working. You just learn so much, right? But it was a pandemic. Everything, like studios we're not hiring. A lot of places weren't hiring. So once again, LinkedIn, you know, I applied to over 40 jobs. I applied to civil litigation jobs, civil, you know, everything under the sun. No one got back to me except for 2 places. The MLB got back to me, so I had an interview with them, and Better Up. And guess what? One of them gave me an opportunity, Better Up, and I've been there for a month already. So never, just because 40 people say no to you, trust me, one of them is going to say yes. And you should never stop applying and, you know, pushing through, because it will work out at the end. Yes, sorry, that was a very long answer.
No, that was good. Thank you.
Of course.
Hugo, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Rosemary. Congratulations on almost completing your law school education. Like looking back, if you could give any academic advice to the incoming class of first-year law students, and or if you can recommend one book that you think every future law student should read, what would you recommend?
Looking back, if I had one advice in terms of academic, you said, honestly, trust yourself, because when I first started law school, you know, Lisa was one of the first, if not the first person I met, and she knew what a mess I was like. I have no idea what I'm doing. And you're gonna feel that way, you know, realistically speaking. You're gonna be like, what is going on? I'm learning all these things I've never heard before. I didn't know anything about criminal torts, writing memos, nothing. And so it's gonna feel like, you know, a big wave coming at you. But if you really put in the work and you really set your priorities, you know, in place, it will work out. And one thing about law school is that you're gonna feel so smart and you're gonna feel so empowered, and the fact that you're gonna be able to have a conversation with someone about these issues that are going on right now, you know, why someone's being charged first-degree murder instead of second, and have these wonderful conversations, it's really going to pay off. So you're here for a reason. All of you are very dedicated, you know, to be here on Monday night, and I could already tell that you want to be here. That's the most important thing. And then one book, honestly, all the books I've been reading are like case books. So I wouldn't recommend that right now. Just enjoy your time, and then you know, you'll read a lot of case books.
Thank you.
But if you are interested in entertainment, actually, I go on Variety and Hollywood Reporter every single day, and I just read about different lawsuits that are going on, you know, trying to keep yourself updated with what's going on in the industry, because it's changing a lot right now. So
Thank you.
As far as practical books are concerned, closer to the start of school, usually our academic success office will put out a list of suggested reading books for preparing for the first year. So it's a little on the early side for those, but it'll eventually flesh out. Elizabeth, did you have a follow-up question?
I just actually wanted to recommend a book to Hugo that I've been reading called Color of Law, and it's all about de jure and de facto segregation that happened to create like a lot of like segregation and divide in housing in the U.S.
Do you want to put that name in the chat?
I'll do that.
Thank you.
I forget the author though.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions for Rosemary before I go on to another one that I have? No? Okay. So one of the things, you know, Rosemary, and we've talked about this and you touched upon it a little bit, is you have been pretty fortunate to receive a few different scholarships, and some of the programs that you've had the opportunity to participate in, including the Microsoft program, are a little more on the obscure side. How do you go about not only finding these scholarships, but then, you know, I would say, at least from the outsider's perspective, is you have a pretty good return on your efforts. So can you elaborate a little bit on how you source out these things as well?
yeah. So the financial aid office is actually really good at sending out emails. And, you know, as a law student, we do get a lot of emails every single day. But every single time that an email comes in through the financial aid office saying scholarship opportunity, they say it all in caps. I open it up and then, you know, I read it. If I qualify for it, I have a chalkboard. I have all my scholarships that I want to apply to, and then I say, I'm going to apply there. And like I said before, you know, if you don't take the opportunity, then you never really know if, you know, you're going to receive it or not, right? To be quite honest with you, I've used a lot of the same exact essays that I have when applying to every single scholarship. Before coming into law school, I actually received the California Change Lawyer Scholarship, right? This was like before I was a 1L, right? And so I was like, okay, I mean, I can use this essay and just kind of add or, you know, subtract as I move on, and now that I'm a 3L, a lot of that same exact essay has been used. I actually just got informed a couple days ago that I won the Latino Lawyers Bar Association one using that same exact essay that I did for the MABA one, right? And so it's really only up to you to take time when you're laying down in bed or right before you shower. And a lot of these applications are very easy. Just the hard part is the personal statement, but always have one, you know, ready to go. As far as sourcing it out, like I said, I'm always on LinkedIn. Sometimes they post it there. I'm a member of a lot of the bar associations that I have gotten the scholarship for.
Can you elaborate for everyone on what these bar associations are in case they're not familiar?
Yeah, so, well, I'm Latina, so a lot of the bar associations that I'm in are there. So there's the Hispanic National Bar Association. There's the Mexican American Bar Association, and then there's the Mexican American Bar Foundation, and the Latino Lawyers Law Association. And, you know, and I'm sure, you know, whatever your background is, there's the Beverly Hills American Bar Association that has a scholarship too. You know, I didn't apply to that one. There's the Iranian one. There's the Persian one. There's an Italian one that I didn't apply to because I'm not Italian, but I got that email from the financial aid office. So you just have to, you know, kind of get familiar with these bar associations, and they all have scholarships. But it's really only up to you to apply. I know things can be really hard as a 1L and even as a 2L and as a 3L, and things get really busy. But I promise you, if you don't apply, you know, you never really know if you can get it or not. So.
Great. What's been the one thing so far that's really surprised you about your time in law school? Good, bad, or otherwise, I guess.
I think there's a couple of things. The first one is, you know, as I was saying before, you just you really get surprised at how much you learn. And I never thought that I'd be able to have a conversation with someone about contracts and why, you know, the COVID-19 has to be in the force majeure, and if not, then, you know, all of these, like, I mean, right now it might sound like, you know, like foreign language to you, but you're gonna know these things, right? And it's just insane. Like, I've never felt so, I always say, like, I've never felt so smart before, right? And I always feel so blessed because this education is invaluable. Like, it really is. So that's one thing that has surprised me. And then also, you know, you're changing, your thinking changes a lot when you're in school, and you're gonna see like your brain change different, like everything you see. When I go to the doctor, oh my gosh, I literally read my, you know, the waiver that they give me, and I'm like, what? I did a focus group the other day for Starbucks, and then in the liability, everyone's like, okay, whatever, and then I read it's like, your name, likeness, and image will be used, you know, for the recording, and I was like, what? That's crazy. So it's just like really little things that like you just learn how to really see how, like, you know, things are, the contracts and all that. And then also one last thing, sorry, a lot of things have surprised me, obviously. The friends that you make here, you know, it's really, really special. You know, the people that I sat with in my orientation day, my first year, I still have a group chat with them. They're my best friends. And these are people that you are literally going to know for the rest of your life. I can never imagine my best friend, Marina. I talk to her every single day, and I can't imagine my life without her, because if I don't talk to her one day, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, all right, hello, hi. But yeah, you grow these bonds with people, and it's really special. And yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions for Rosemary? We have a little less than 10 minutes. I have a couple other questions, but I want to make sure we're answering all of yours. You can raise your actual hand if you don't know how to use the Zoom raise hand feature. Hugo, go ahead.
Hey, Rosemary. So, so you did most of your education, you know, pre-COVID, obviously, and then you're doing your, you know, Zoom education now. And you know, one of the things I'm worrying about when you get into law school is, you know, how much different Zoom education will be. I feel like it's gonna be like harder to focus and whatnot, not being in the classroom. So what are some things that you did or you learned to adjust to that and make the best out of your Zoom experience, and you know how yeah.
So, you know, through Zoom, it is really hard because, as I said before, getting like that in-person, you know, experience, not only with your professors, but with your classmates and meeting up with them and all that, it's, you know, it's something very special. And I personally learn better like that. But Southwestern has done a very, very, very good job to make sure that you're attentive and, you know, you're getting the best education you could get, you know. For example, like they take attendance every single day to make sure you're like there, and they do it like randomly. So you know, you have to be paying attention, and just, you know, taking advantage of office hours, because I would do that as well, you know, in person, but I tend to see that the professors are a lot more available now. And so then, you know, don't be afraid to reach out to your professors and always have one-on-ones with them. Southwestern has done a really good job to make sure, you know, first-year law students feel included by doing a lot of study sessions on Saturdays and Sundays with them, and just, you know, bringing guest speakers on, you know, throughout lunch hours. So we're really trying our best to make sure that everyone feels like they were, you know, they are on campus, even though we're not right now.
Miss Pat.
Hello again. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and how you shared with us your growth. I really appreciate that. I want to go back to UCLA Fellows. Did you feel that those 6 weeks or however long it was, that it helped it helped give you a little bit of a glimpse into your first year of law school? Was it helpful?
Yeah, it was really helpful. I think back then I didn't, I mean, I was really lost, I'll be honest with you. I was like, what the heck is briefing? I have no idea how to read a case. But then, when I got into Southwestern, and Southwestern offers like a free week of like boot camp, Bison boot camp. And so that's like a week before school starts. You just learn how to brief a case, you learn how to read a case, and just, plan out your schedule, make sure, once you start your first week of actual school, you're just ready to go. So once I, started that week program, I got a more sense of, okay, this is what briefing was. But yeah, it definitely helped me, and it's not only was a great thing on my resume, but it really affirmed, that I really wanted to be here and pursue a law career.
Okay, thank you, because I have been out of school for many years, and I just feel that I need something so that I don't come in like a wide open, a wide-eyed doe, even though I don't know a lot. But at least if I had some kind of exposure, it would make me feel a little bit better. So that is why I asked you. Thank you so much.
So, Ms. Pat, just to follow up on what Rosemary was saying, we do offer Bison Boot Camp. We've kind of played with the timing of it a little bit. This year, we were able to offer it like 4 different times to incoming students. So like some people were able to do it even as early as June. But it's designed exactly as Rosemary was describing, to help students kind of get familiarity with some of the fundamentals of law school. It piggybacks onto an actual class you'll have in your first year. So it kind of one leads into the other. So Bison Bootcamp is available to every incoming student, and it is completely free of charge. We also supplement that for students who maybe feel a little bit more intimidated or want a little bit more concentrated effort in legal writing. We do offer a summer course in that as well. It's a 2-week course. There is a charge for that particular program, but that's our introduction to legal writing class. So some students take both, some do one or the other. Either way, they're just to kind of get folks acclimated and making them feel a little bit more comfortable, kind of as you were saying, so they don't feel quite so doe-eyed when school really starts.
Okay, so that's for incoming students.
Those are for our students, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's good to know. I don't know if in the different webinars or when we were able to come in person, if I heard that. So I made a note of that and highlighted it. So thank you very much.
Great, sure. And there is something to be said, I think, to doing a program at the law school that you intend to start at. You do get sort of nuances of their particular instruction style. So many law schools offer some kind of summer preparatory program. So wherever you land, you should be asking about programs like that. Undoubtedly, they probably have something, even if it doesn't have a formal name.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have time for just one last set of remarks. Rosemary, we were chatting before everybody joined us today about how you're almost completing the full circle. You're in your last year, you've got the bar exam in front of you, but you're almost there. Is there something you would like to share with the group that maybe you wished you had known and told yourself when you were way back in the application process? Some other bit of advice?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I said it before, but apply early. Just that is like my number one advice that I can give you. Also, it's okay if you don't know exactly what you want to practice. I came in, with a very specific goal, but I know a lot of people that came in wanting to do, entertainment, and now they're doing civil litigation or they're doing criminal law, because you just learn so much in these classes. You become so invested in them that your interests start to shift, and that's okay, right? So have an open mind. Like right now I'm doing corporate, right, and commercial law, and I really love it, and I will definitely take a job like that if it's available to me. Also, just trust yourself. This is a long but very short journey because I can't believe I'm about to graduate. But you know, your first year might feel very stressful, but just know that you're here, and the fact that you're in law school and you're thinking of applying like really sets you, you know, at the top of the top. You know, I get emotional thinking about it because I'm a minority. I'm part of 2% of the United States of America that is pursuing education. You know, being a woman, being a minority, even, you know, like, it's just, you're here for a reason and you have something to contribute. I mean, you should be really, really proud of yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and put my email on the chat. If any of you guys have questions, want to set up a Zoom chat, add me on LinkedIn. Make a LinkedIn, actually. That's like your homework for the day, actually. Sorry.
I don't think LinkedIn has had this much buzz in a while.
Oh, it's true. It's like changed my life. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna put my email, and then, you know, any questions you have, please let me know. And I'm very honest and I'm very candid about things. And I want you to succeed just as much as I want myself to succeed, because we need people that are motivated in this industry, in this field. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Rosemary. You are just truly a testament to just somebody who just keeps on going and thriving. And I've been so pleased to be able to watch your successes. And I know that you're just the beginning. There are so many more ahead of you. So thank you so much for spending a little bit of your evening with us. I hope everybody enjoyed getting to learn a little bit more about Rosemary. If you don't yet, you should follow our social media. She's actually being featured as our Southwestern Bison of the Week. So you can see a little bit more Rosemary on our Instagram. So thank you, everybody. And I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Take care.